Oscar and the Little Cat by Esther Vincent. Oscar walks to school every day with his mom. Every day, Oscar walks past an alley where a little cat lives. Little Cat has no collar. If Little Cat had a collar, the collar might have a tag with her name on it. But Little Cat has no collar, no tag, and no name. Little Cat has no home. Little Cat lives in the alley between two small buildings on a city street. Oscar doesn't know how Little Cat got there, but he thinks she must miss her cat mom and her cat siblings. Little Cat looks sad and alone. Oscar calls, "Here, kitty, kitty." Oscar's mom tells him that Little Cat is a dirty stray and should be left alone. That evening, Oscar sneaks a little piece of dinner into his pocket. The next morning, he drops it on the ground behind him when he passes Little Cat's alley. That night, he puts another piece of dinner in his pocket, and the following morning, he drops it on the ground for Little Cat. On the third day, Little Cat is waiting for Oscar. She still looks sad and alone, but she stands up on her tiptoes to greet him. Oscar thinks she might be smiling. On the fourth day, it's cold and snowing. Oscar worries that Little Cat will not be there. But she is there, and when she sees Oscar, her tail goes up in the air and she dances on her little paws. This makes Oscar giggle to himself. It's almost as though Little Cat smiles every time she sees him. Oscar asks his mom if he can take Little Cat home. But his mom says that Little Cat is a dirty stray and should be left alone. After a week or two of little pieces of food and Little Cat toe dances, Little Cat is not there when Oscar walks by. He drops his little piece of food anyway, hoping she'll find it later. The next day, again, there is no Little Cat. The piece of food from the day before is still there where Oscar dropped it. He drops that day's little piece of food anyway, but worries. On the third day that Little Cat is missing, two little pieces of food sit dried up on the ground right where Oscar left them. Oscar is very sad. He tells his mom that Little Cat is missing. His mom says that's what happens to strays, and isn't Oscar glad that he didn't get attached? Oscar isn't glad. He did get attached. Now he feels sad and alone. Soon after is show and tell day at school. One of Oscar's classmates, Julie, has a big box with air holes in it. When it's her turn to go to the front of the class, she takes the box with her and opens it. She says, "This is my new little cat, Pearl. My mom and I found her in an alley and decided to adopt her." As soon as the lid is off, Little Cat jumps out. As soon as Little Cat jumps out, She sees Oscar. As soon as she sees Oscar, Little Cat leaps across the classroom and jumps into Oscar's lap and purrs. Oscar hugs and strokes Little Cat. Julie is surprised. "What are you doing with my Pearl?" she asks. Oscar explains about the alley and the morning walks and the little bits of food, and that his mum said that Pearl is a dirty stray and should be left alone. Julie says that Pearl just needs a warm place and good food and somewhere she can bathe herself, and that she isn't dirty at all. At the end of the day, when it's time to go home, Julie tells her mum about Oscar and Pearl and the little bits of food. Julie's mum tells Oscar and his mother that Oscar is a kind person. She says that if Oscar didn't give Pearl a little bit of food every day, Pearl might not have lived to be found by Julie. And without Oscar's help, Pearl might not have made it through the cold, snowy nights. She tells Oscar's mum that she should be very proud to have raised such a caring son. She tells them both that she and Julie are so pleased to have Pearl. She says that Pearl is a sweet and friendly cat who was just missing a warm home. Then they went away with Pearl in the box. Oscar worries he's going to get in trouble for leaving the little bits of food. But his mum just smiles and squeezes him by the shoulders and says, "You're a good boy. I would never have thought a stray cat could be such a nice cat." As Oscar looks over his shoulder, he is sure he can see one of Pearl's paws waving at him through one of the holes in the box. She is definitely smiling.